Hello friends, welcome to my channel. You know, today it has been 4 weeks since I had my hysterectomy and I've been feeling so much better. There's still a little bit of pain, but it's a very dull pain, that I decided a few days ago to start doing some crafting again. So I'm going to be showing you a few of my Shabby Chic French Country DIYs. The first one, I am going to be using my IOD mold here. I'm also going to be using some scrap pieces of 2x4. I'm going to be doing the rooster, the bunny, and the fleur-de-lis on this mold. I also have some lock and key molds here. I got these off of Amazon, and if you're interested, I will have a link down below if you want to go check them out. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this mold first, and let's go and do the rooster. Now I'm using my Crayola Model Magic foam clay. I normally use paper clay, and when I use the paper clay, you know, you have to use some cornstarch, but most of the time when I use my foam clay it doesn't stick. So let's go ahead and try it without putting anything in there. I'm just gonna have to put a few pieces in at a time. I'm starting on the rooster because he is the most difficult one to do because he's got those skinny little legs and the head sometimes will come off when you're trying to pull it out. And you know what, it didn't work. I tried to pull him out and he kind of broke, so I went ahead and put some cornstarch in and I got more of the clay back in. I'm just going to smooth it out here. I do need it flat because I'm going to be gluing it to the piece of wood. Let's go ahead and flip it over and slowly undo this. We don't want it to break. Just going to kind of pull it down. There we go. Oh, the legs want to stick. That's okay. I like the foam clay because it is adjustable. We'll just adjust his little legs right there. All right, that looks good. Let's pull him off of the paper here and set him on the wood. I want to set all of these on the wood so they will dry flat. I'm going to push it down here. Okay, just going to make sure he's a little flat. All right, so I want to do the bunny next, and I'm going to be using this longer piece of my 2x4 since he is longer. And I'm also going to be using the longer piece for the lock and the key. Just going to figure out which one I want to do. And then the fleur-de-lis will be going on the more square piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these done. I will be letting these dry overnight, and once they're dry I will be gluing them with the E6000. They are still a little flexible right now, which is why I like the foam clay. So here we are on the next day. I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster on 2 of them. I think I'm going to do the bunny and the lock and the key. Then I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint in mineral on the other 2. Let's go ahead and get started on the rooster. Probably going to have to do 2 coats on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done real quick. And I will be painting all of the others. So I have them all painted. I did a couple coats. I did take some sandpaper and distressed it a little bit. I'm using my Annie Sloan, my antique wax here. This is the first time I've tried it. Just gonna put it on with my brush here. And I'm just gonna take a paper towel because I don't have a rag here on hand in my room, but I do have paper towels, just to wipe off a little bit. I'm going to kind of darken the bunny here a little bit and then take a little more off. And I'm using this on all sides of the wood, and you can see I have the lock and the key done. Now for the ones with the mineral color, I'm just going to use some black paint. I'm trying different techniques to see what I like. It's a little watered down, just brushing it on and wiping it off. And I did distress these just a little bit too. Let's put a little bit more black right there inside. There we go. Go ahead and finish up the rest of it. Now I am going to take the mineral color again because I want this to be a little bit lighter in here. And on the sides, I got it just a little too dark. Just going to brush that on, and I have a damp piece of paper towel here, and I'm just going to wipe some of it off. All right, so I'm liking how that turned out. Here is how the rooster turned out. Now it's time to do some embellishments. Now I'm only going to show you on camera here the bunny. At the end you'll get to see the other three. Just taking some lace here that I have. I'm kind of doing a little monochromatic coloring on here. I'm just going to hot glue it to 3 sides. Not going to do anything on the back. I'm going to do the top and the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of my pearl beads here and glue them on top of the lace. You have to be very careful with this because it can burn your fingers. I'm also going to do it on the bottom part. Now that I have that done, I'm just going to do a little bit more embellishments on the top right side. I have some string here with a key. I have a little bit of lace. I have some flowers and a button and some ribbon. So I'm just going to hot glue everything on just on this top corner. Okay. Button there, and I'm going to put some flowers on top to cover everything right there. All right, so here is how all 4 of them turned out. I think this looks really cute. This one I did some lace at the top, just the pearls at the bottom, and used a little chain and a few buttons. Got lace at the top and the bottom, and this little bow came off of another piece of lace trim I have, so I cut that off and glued it on. And I thought this would look really pretty with just the lace at the top and the bottom and having the little bit of the color on here with the rose. My next project, I am just using a can. That was a vegetable can. Now this right here is a pencil holder that I have had since I was 8. So this is 50 years old. This is something that my grandmother gave me, and I don't know if she made it, I don't remember, or somebody else did. So I'm going to be making one just like it, but I'm going to be using spring colors. Now these little tablets here I got from Temu, and I'm just making little strips here. I'm taking a dowel rod. I'm going to be rolling it on the dowel rod. I can get it to roll here. Just taking a glue stick and gluing it on. So then you have like little straws. You could use paper straws if you want, but I'm using all different colors here with my paper. So I'm going to be making these. I'm probably going to have over 30 of these, I think. Maybe close to 40 to go around the can. So I'm going to start pulling out some of the paper that I want to use. And I'm just going to be cutting it. I have my little guide here on the first one that I tested. So I'm just going to be cutting that. That piece I'm not using, but I will be saving it. You never know. And then this is going to be more like, kind of like in half. Okay, and get that cut. So I have a whole bunch of these that I need to make. So I got all of them made up, and here's what I've got on here so far. I'm just hot gluing these on. And there was a line on the can, so that helped me make sure I was straight. So I started with that line with my first one. Now on the original one, I think it's wallpaper that they rolled up. They did roll it up, just like this. So kind of reminds me of wallpaper the way it felt. So I'm just going to continue on with the rest of the can here and get all the rest of these little straw things that I made on. Okay, of course some of them weren't perfect looking, so I need to cover up the top and the bottom. They have velvet here, but I'm going to be using lace. Now I went ahead and decided to use the pipe cleaner here just like they had on there, but I will be covering that up with something else. But I do want to cover up the holes on the top. The bottom can stay open. This was, I got a bunch of these from Temu, and they were spring colors, and this, I know it looks, it's not yellow, it's kind of a light apricot color to me. I know it looks a little different on camera. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the lace on. Go ahead and do the top. I'm going to do it all the way to the top of the pipe cleaner here so you don't see too much of it. Okay, and I have another piece here for the bottom. I want to use a wider one at the top and a skinnier one at the bottom. And this just covers up all the imperfections because some of my cuts didn't turn out perfect. Now to cover up the seams, I'm just going to use some buttons. I'm going to go ahead and put a button here. So originally I was going to have this the back of the can, or actually my pencil holder, but then I decided that I'm going to use it as the front because I decided just to cover up the seams. That way would be better. So I ended up using another piece of lace trim here with some roses on it that coordinate with the colors of my paper. I'm just kind of putting it towards the bottom. And it didn't come out perfect. I have the extra one there, which I was kind of hoping it would end up with a rose right there, but that's okay. All right, I decided to take off the button, and I cut off one little piece there. I'm going to use a different button. I was going to put some embellishments on here. I have a little bit of lace that I tied together and cut up. I'm going to use some ribbon here. It coordinates with the roses, that color. Okay, let's get that tacked on. And I have some of the beads. You can see I put that on the top too. And then I'm going to put this different button on here. I like this button better than the other one. Okay. Then I also have this little key that I added some chain to, and I'm going to hot glue that right there. Okay, and of course everything is a little bit too long, so we have to trim off a few pieces. Alright, and that's all you need to do, and this will look really pretty on your desk. You can also use it to hold paintbrushes too in your craft room. Now my last project, I'm going to be revamping this little angel holding a bird. It was actually a white color. I got it from TJ Maxx many, many years ago. And I painted it green. I was going to do something with it and I never did. So I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint again in the mineral and the plaster. I'm going to be doing a couple coats of the mineral color. Go ahead and get this all painted. I don't want any of the green to be showing. This will take a little bit of time because there's all those little crevices that you have to get into, but I love the way this little angel looks. Now I did take my plaster color and go over this. I decided to make it look more like cement. So I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up. I'm just dabbing on the plaster over the mineral color. I love how this is looking more like it's a cement on here. At first I was going to use the dark antique wax on it, but I changed my mind. I thought this would look nicer. So once this is all dry, I'm going to be putting some embellishments on it. Got to spring it up. So we're going to do a little halo of flowers on top of my little angel here. Just trying to figure out where I want to put. This is my biggest flower, so I'm going to put it in the front, off to the side a little bit. And then I'm just randomly going to pick some of my other flowers in here. I'm using some kind of like a hot pink color, light pink and white. I just thought I'd stay with the pink colors. The hardest part is just figuring out where you want to put everything. Put that one there. Let's see, how about we start over here on the left side of the big flower, add a few more. I need to cut that off. That's just a little bit too much. I want a little bit smaller. Okay, let's get that glued on. And put another one there. All right, I'm going to continue on getting the rest of the halo done. So here it is. I think this looks really pretty. I like the pop of color. I also want to put some of my beads down here. I wish I could do it a little bit differently. It's a little hard to get in here. I don't have a lot of room. So I'm just going to put a few pieces, kind of like a choker around the neck. Just hot glue 2 little sections on. It'd be cute if I could put more of a necklace on her, but the way that it is positioned, you just can't. Okay, get that last one on. Just trying to see if I could do something different, but yeah, I don't think it's going to work. So I think I'm just going to hot glue here to the left side and just have a few strands dangling down. And I'm also going to add some ribbon on here too. I'll do a light pink and a darker pink to kind of go with the flowers. All right, so I put that on there. I added one more of the pearls. I have this little lace piece that came off of some lace trim. I'm just going to use some hot glue, fold it in half a little bit, and I'm going to fold it over one more time. I want to have a little bit of lace. I need to cover up that section where all the pieces are glued at. And I want a little bit of lace right there. So I'll go ahead and get that glued in. I was looking for some cute buttons, but I couldn't find anything that I really liked that I already had. So I'm just going to add a couple flowers. So we'll do this hot pink one first, next to the lace. Okay, and a little white one right here. Okay, so that is all I'm going to do. That one is done, so we're going to check out all of the projects here. Alright, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and I could give you some ideas on doing some shabby chic French country spring DIYs. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.